Curious about how portfolio management services really work? Want to understand how your portfolios are built, what kind of strategies are right for your financial goals, or is a PMS right fit for you? We are hosting an exclusive webinar, I Thought PMS Universe, Everything You Need to Know. This is your chance to get a complete walkthrough on our PMS philosophy, our strategies from blue chip to multi-cap to small cap, and how we manage risk and performance over a long period of time. Whether you're exploring PMS for the first time or want to get deeper into how we work, this session is designed for you. It's online, free, and open for all. Tap the link attached below to register and get the invite.
Welcome to this episode of the Fireside Chat with NIO, where we are going to talk about why your India allocation matters today. Now, as a global citizen, you probably have a lot of investment opportunities at your fingertips, and it must be quite a challenge to decide where to invest and how to invest. But India presents a very interesting opportunity, and the door is open to NRIs to participate in India through many options, whether you're looking at the mutual fund route or the PMS route. So let's look at why India is worth your attention today. There are three important reasons that we're going to cover in this video. So let's start with the first one. The first reason that India presents a very attractive opportunity is the fact that it is the fastest growing economy in the world. The world is going through a growth slowdown. So if we look at the global projections for growth from the IMF, you see that global growth is expected to grow at 2.8% in 2025 and 3% in 2026. When we compare the global level with the India level, the IMF expects India to grow at 6.2% in 2025 and 6.3% in 2026. Back home, the RBI's projection is closer to 6.5%, and it also looks like there are a lot of drivers that are pushing the Indian economy forward even as the global economy slows down. Now, given this context, we know that returns always come from fundamental factors as well. So if the underlying economy is growing fast, you're likely to see better returns in this context. So this is one of the key reasons why India should have some representation in your portfolio, no matter where you're living today. The second reason we're going to look at is macros. Now, macros play an important role in the fundamental structure of a particular growth story. And when we look at India's macros, we're actually on a much better wicket compared to our global peers. So let's take the US, for example. If we look at how the Fed has been revising its projections in terms of where it sees inflation, unemployment, and economic growth, we can see that there's been a sharp shift in the narrative. So if we look at the summary of economic projections from December last year, US growth was expected to be above 2%. Whereas now when we look at the projections, they're closer to 1.5% or even lower. If we look at the kind of revisions the Fed has made to the unemployment forecast, you've seen that through the two SEPs that came out in 2025, the unemployment forecasts have only inched upwards, while the Fed has tolerance for unemployment to go up even more, considering that it is at historically low levels. It is something that the Fed will have to actively fight. At the same time, when we look at inflation forecasts have also moved upwards in 2025. So broadly, you're seeing lower growth, higher inflation, and higher unemployment. And this mix of macroeconomic factors does not create too much confidence from an investment environment perspective. This entire period, you've also seen US asset prices go up, so that moderation or reversion to mean still hasn't happened, and there is a divergence between asset prices and the fundamentals of the underlying economy. But the US is not alone. If we look at China, China has a deflation problem. You're seeing negative inflation in China. The government is trying to combat the growth problems that the Chinese economy has. And even if we look further away, and if we look at an economy like Japan, you're dealing with higher inflation, higher yields, and at the same time, the Japanese economy is so intertwined with the global economy that interest rate hikes have to be very calibrated. Beyond this, even if we look at the Eurozone or other emerging markets, you are going to notice that from a macro perspective, India still has an edge over many peers and counterparts. So there is merit in looking at India as an economy just from the way that it's structured, the way it's growing, and the potential growth story that it has in the coming decades. This brings us to the last point that makes the Indian economy very attractive for a global investor today, which is compounding. It's a simple word, but also the eighth wonder of the world. So let's take a look at why India can be your compounding magic story. So when we look at 30-year data on how the Indian indices have performed, you will notice that basically in the last 25 to 30-year time frame, that is, if you stay invested for a long time, then your compounding moves towards 11 to 14%. And this is a great return for any investor to earn, and this is just at the index level. So if you're working with an active fund manager who's able to create that alpha for you, your compounding can actually be better than the long-term return that you're seeing on this chart. The most important thing is that long-term consistency can give you the kind of wealth creation outcomes that you desire. You could create $1 million portfolio in India with Indian assets based on what you're doing. If you're the kind of global investor who wants to invest in India but also get your asset allocation right, then we have the perfect solution for you. NIO works with an asset allocation model where you have exposure to precious metals, fixed income, global assets, as well as a strong focus on the Indian economy. So getting all of this in one place could be the solution that creates $1 million corpus for you. If you'd like to know more about NIO, do get in touch with us. The link is in the description below.